I often hear from employers as we work on leadership that they struggle to hire and retain new college graduates and have a lot of questions about what they should do to improve that process. So today I'm joined by Jacob Zwank, who is a college senior at Central College in Pella, also a communications and sociology major. So if you're looking for somebody, Jacob could be your man. But I asked him to come in today to give me a little bit of perspective on what it's like to be a college senior looking to be in the job market and how companies could engage folks like him in the hiring process and then on the onboarding process to help him hit the ground running. So, Jacob, what do you expect out of the application process?
In the actual application process, like I've been using LinkedIn a lot recently, and the easy apply button makes things easy. And so that's super nice to be able to have that click, put in a couple of details. And I've really enjoyed that, as well as when I'm applying for companies, maybe through their website rather than on LinkedIn. I've done this through internships before. When they are looking at my application, even if I don't get the internship or the job, it's nice to receive some feedback or an email, even if it's thanks for applying. Sorry, we've got somebody else that we're giving the job. But actually having some feedback in that way. That way I'm not left waiting, because maybe I'm waiting to hear back to accept another position or waiting to hear back so that I can apply somewhere else.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. I think it's time that employers recognize that if they're struggling to hire people, they want more people to apply, that part of their responsibility is to quit ghosting candidates, right? If you're going to take the time to apply, to learn about their organization, to put all the effort into doing that process, that the least they can do is actually just respond, right? To be able to say, hey, this probably isn't the right fit for you, or, we interviewed you and you're not the candidate we're going to go with. It's not the news you want to hear, but it is the way that we close the loop. So let's talk about the interview process. How would you like a company to help you through the interview process so you understand both who they are and what they do?
Yeah, in the actual interview process, when I'm there, I obviously want to hear about the company. I know that they want to hear about me as well, but really explaining their vision and their mission as well is useful for when I'm trying to learn about what I might be experiencing if I were to be recruited towards that job. Being able to see the workspace, sometimes if I'm in an interview, just being in a room doesn't actually make me understand the workspace that I may be actually working in. So getting to see some people in the actual environment that they're in is very useful. Within the actual interviewing process, I'm going to be probably learning just as much as they are. And so some kind of collaborative, we discuss what our expectations of each other are, and really learning that maybe what I have as what I read maybe in the description of the job may be different. If I misunderstand, to have some clarification as well, so that I really understand what the mission and the idea of the company is.
How could a company help you understand their values, their mission or their values? What would you say to that?
When I'm applying, there should be something about that, at least on the application start. And so to learn that way, off the bat. And then, as we mentioned, through all the stages, the interviewing process, explain that even further face to face. And then in the actual job, seeing that put out and actually there, maybe something like that.
So not just one time hearing about the values and the mission, but hearing it about it multiple times throughout the entire process.
Yeah, and then even living it. Yeah.
So let's talk about the orientation process. What could a company do during that orientation process to help you hit the ground running?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big things that I hear a lot about and wanting to ensure that I have in the future is a positive culture. And so getting, into the actual work job environment to understand that there is, a good inter relationship with the worker and the actual supervisors is key. And so being able to see that and what their values and what they expect of me if I'm going to be doing a job, that's out in the community or something like that, to see like what they expect of me there. As well as, just being able to get to know my employees. I know a lot of things are going hybrid or even fully online. Well, I, am wanting a team aspect in most places that I go to, and to actually know employees that I'll be working with, create friendships and a group that I feel like I can, really get some good motivation and work done with, is key.
What would you want out of your manager during the orientation process?
Yeah, some patience with what I am learning at the moment. It's going to be new to me exactly what I'm doing, just because I may not have ever done the job that I'm going into. And so to understand that I'm, building skills with others and with the supervisor themselves. Having a mentor is definitely big because they have experience. I would be new to the idea of at least that specific job, and having a buddy or a mentor, someone who has the knowledge of the area, would really make me, fit into the job smoother. Instead of, hitting the ground hard, I'd be able to, glide kind of into that position.
Jacob, talk to me about how you would want to be oriented in environments that may have a component of either hybrid or virtual work.
Yeah, that's kind of grown a lot recently, and something that I didn't think would happen when I was coming into college. It just wasn't a thing that happened as much. And so, as I've kind of heard about these jobs and they've just become more popular, something around actually meeting the team. I know it's something where oftentimes it's all online, and so the only connection you have is over a screen. Actually being able to meet the people and have a relationship formed is key, as well as if there is something that I will need applications to have some kind of knowledge or training towards those like teams or something like that, to actually understand the software and be more productive even in that group setting as well, is really important towards my orientation process.
So, Jacob, let's talk about your first 90 days. How can a company help you hit the ground running, really jump into your work from day one?
I'm a person who likes to just be told what to do kind of right off the bat. So specific instructions and not leaving it vague, not leaving me to question what I'm even doing, really helps me, at least as a worker. And I think many people that I know as well in jobs that I've worked in would agree with me that just having the specifications of exactly what needs to be done is very important. More black and white, what I need to know, as well as when I'm actually in the job, allowing me to see what they have done before. So if someone is teaching someone something for consulting, then maybe I would want to see shadow that, see how they do that. It was effective, what's not effective, and how I can use some of those skills, even that somebody else with more years and more, experience, learning what's right and wrong, that I can build off of those even.
So, Jacob, in those first 90 days, how can a company help you build strong relationships with your new team?
I have been in a couple work environments, but I know people who, interned and their company had like a specific day, like a picnic, for example. I think a lot of companies that I've heard of have devalued some of that time. But I think that they don't see that the relationships and the community that they build with that time is free. And I know it kind of seems like a free day off of work, basically, but I think that within that, learning and actually being able to enjoy the company that you're with, even within the first 90 days, is key to me really staying in contact with the company's goals, and understanding what I'm doing with the job.
Jacob, obviously, when a company hires an employee, they want them to stay for the long term. As you think about your first full time employer, what types of things can they do to help you consider a career with them long term?
In previous jobs that I've had, having someone to check in to make sure that I'm still, feeling valued in the company, and understanding what my interests are and what I want to even do within the company, is something that I've really valued. Even though sometimes it may seem odd to pull me away for just a checkup, I think that understanding my actual, what I'm thinking, my thought process in the company has really allowed me to actually get to even build community with my supervisor, as well as them understanding maybe even outside of my thoughts what other people in the company are thinking, just from even what I have.
Jacob, how often would you want to meet with your supervisor to get any feedback or coaching they may be able to provide you during your early days?
During the first couple weeks, as we mentioned about the first 90 days, I guess that's really important. But I think it comes down to also the size of the company. Even if I'm having a good smaller companies, kind of relationship building in that way. Maybe the check-ins need to happen less often, just because we may be having more conversations anyway. It may come up casually, whereas maybe in a bigger company, when I'm more just around in my group, in my area, my specialty, maybe I almost never see the supervisor. Feedback and coaching, frequent is obviously always good to just to learn more, to understand like what I am needing to improve on. When I have been working at other jobs, I've maybe rarely actually met one-to-one with my supervisor. So monthly is for sure something that would be important, but I know that there's other opportunities that people have, like even weekly. And so check-ins wise is, as much as possible almost, just to always have some kind of relationship there. And so really furthering that, if you have some kind of performance goals, that bringing that up as well is important. I like to see what I'm specifically doing for the company and how I'm helping the company. And whether or not that's every time we meet or not, understanding my value to the company is important.
So, Jacob, how would you like to be recognized for a job well done?
In the workplace, I've enjoyed when people just come up to me verbally and just said exactly what I've done. Just that gratification and understanding specifically what I've done well is important, because if you just say that I did a good job, well, maybe I did a good job at that and not something else. So the constructive piece of that and understanding there's still other areas of growth, and I want to know that as well. Right now, I've been working at Hy-Vee, and my boss has really done a good job with saying that, like, oh, you're really good at doing the stocking aspect, but maybe a part that you could work on is helping out the new employees, as they don't understand maybe some of the tricks that come with the trade.
Jacob, what can a company do to help you consider a long-term career there?
We've talked about kind of feeling, a relationship between you and your supervisor. That is, I think, key across the board with a lot of things that we're going to talk about. And so, seeing me as an individual is even recognizing my strengths and recognizing other people that I'm around, so that we can understand, where we excel, who should be doing exactly what, and seeing, maybe we talk about things casually, just having a actual conversation instead of everything being do this, do that. Being able to see me and having some kind of actual interpersonal communication with each other.
Jacob, talk to me about the importance of being provided opportunities for career growth or new responsibilities.
When I'm working, I am always working to improve and also just improve in my position of, being in the work. And so, having a place to move towards, we don't want to be trying to, push a block and it can't move. We want to be forwarding it somehow. And so in my career, I want it to be the same way, where I am working towards improvement in my role. And so, having somewhere to move to, and also understanding that it's a possibility to move to, is just something that I want to know within my job, if I can move up to supervisor from where I'm at, and really not having a filler job. I want to be able to learn new things and be able to have new responsibilities, as that just comes with trust. And so understanding that I have something to work towards, something to build up to, and something to really learn and know that there is growth, like actually being maybe even told where I can move to, and understanding the chain of where I'm building to.
So, Jacob, what would you want employers to know about your generation, which may be the same or different than what they think they know about you?
There's a common stereotype among a lot of Gen Z that we're lazy. there's always exceptions and et cetera, but I would like to say that generally we're not, and that we really do put in a lot of effort. And a lot of it comes down to understanding what our actual role is, not being vague. And, if someone tells me that this is my job and this is what I need to do, I'll do it. I have no problem, and I'll put my full effort into it. And so understanding that we will do the work, and not to link us with these ideas that maybe we've had in the past. I think that our generation is given a idea that we're really tech savvy, and I'm not even gonna say that's not true. We have all this new capabilities, and some people are really smart when it comes to it, but others either don't have the opportunities in the past to do that, or maybe they just haven't learned how to do everything. And so I love the idea of, like, on LinkedIn, having the easy apply, making it as simple as possible for us. But also understanding, maybe some people would do it the old-fashioned way, and having multiple opportunities for people of different, past experiences to understand.
So, Jacob, if somebody has a question about anything that you shared today, or has an opportunity for you to consider within their own company, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I've got a profile there, and just make sure you spell it Jacob with a K. That's key.